yesterday I put a status up because she was saying, "Oh, this meal, some meal was keto friendly." I said, "I don't know keto, meto, or Tito, but for meto, I need potatoes, so it's not gonna work." We're gonna have to alter it.
Something else for me. We're gonna introduce her. So hey everybody, this is Danica and Leanne
from Mama Needs Love 2.
Yes.
Welcome to our podcast, to our channel. And today we are interviewing
Pastor Nina. Nina, why don't you introduce yourself?
Hello everyone, I am Nina. I go by so many different names. Nina Motivates, Pastor Nina, Nina Boo, but I'm just simply Nina.
The maker of the best butter cookies in the world. That's my new name for her.
Yeah, though they don't go with my keto diet. Okay, it's okay though. Yeah, you gotta live a little.
Just say for me though.
For me though, I like cookies.
And I realized that I wasn't recording the podcast. So, hi everyone. This is Danica and Leanne from Mama Needs Love 2. We're also recording the podcast. Y'all know how we do. When you come on our YouTube, you gonna see some of everything.
Outtake,
yes,
intake, whatever it takes.
We taking. So, for those of you all listening, thank you for listening to Mama Needs Love 2. We're here interviewing Nina. She's already introduced herself, Pastor Nina, and Nina Motivates.
Nina Boo.
Yes,
simply
and
Nina.
We're also recording for our YouTube channel. So, the reason we're recording for our YouTube channel because our beautiful friend Nina here. Yeah. So, backstory: I met Nina in college, LAR.
Yes. Well, I lived in Barton. But
you were always at. Oh, you worked at LAR.
I don't even remember which dorm I worked at.
They went to university.
We went to college
together.
You heard you see?
Yes. And so
I went to the poor man's UIC.
So yeah, it's okay. We love you anyway. So.
Thank you. I appreciate it. It feels good.
But Nina. For those of you all listening, you can't see Nina's disability, so head on over to our YouTube channel. The reason we're interviewing Nina is because Nina was born with a disability.
Yes.
Is there an actual name for your...
Club hands.
Club hands, that is the term for it. Okay. And so tell us a little bit about your disability.
So when I was born, prior to being born, my mom didn't know, my parents didn't know. So when I was born, they noticed the physical deficiency. And so I was born at University of Chicago Hospital, which was called Billings at the time. I think it's Mitchell now, but it was Billings back then. And so I was born in 1981. I'm not ashamed of my age. And so back then they didn't have all of the stuff that they have now, the tools and tricks to try to make it so much better. But when I was born, I had to undergo 6 surgeries. I had 4 surgeries in my left hand, which caused the more surgeries they gave me, the less movement I had. So 4 in this hand, which, as you can see, don't have much movement. 2 in this hand, which is my right hand. So I have 4 movement in my right hand, limited movement in my left hand. But I don't allow it to stop me or anything. But so I was in the hospital a lot during my childhood, from the surgeries, teaching me how to write, wearing braces that I would always take off because I was a kid and they were in my way. So they believed that if I kept wearing the braces that my arms may have been straighter. So I'm glad I didn't because I like my arms the way they are now. You know what I'm saying? So they were meant to be like this.
Okay. And so I remember, of course, seeing you, it's noticeable. Like that's the first thing because you only have, again, for those of us listening, you have 4 fingers on your left hand and on the 4 on the right. So
no thumb. So people don't realize that it's the thumb that's missing. They cut off my thumbs. That's why I have all the marks here. And they moved all my fingers over one place so that I can grip. Because without a thumb,
so they essentially made
made
a thumb. Okay,
out of the pointer finger.
Oh,
what you all use as an index or pointer finger.
Yeah,
I use as a thumb.
So but did you have a thumb when you were born?
I did. If you look at the cover of my Because I Love Me book, I had just had surgery on this hand, but on my right hand,
I one of these many books.
One of the 8.
Right here, you hold up that one. We're gonna get all these books. We're gonna get all these titles in here today.
Well, for parents, that's actually good. I will talk about that one. It's a 5-week workbook.
But this is the picture you're talking about.
Yeah, and that picture over there with my right hand, I still have 5 fingers, so the thumb is kind of hanging. Because it doesn't have a bone in it. So the problem was the thumbs didn't have bones in them.
Okay.
So as you see, the arms were still already crooked, and I don't understand that whole process. But what they call it is club hands.
Okay. Well, that's a good explanation of your disability. So, you know, of course, seeing someone that's different, we're in college. So at this point, it's not grammar school. This is not like her personality. My point is what it draws everybody to Nina because she is just so bubbly and effervescent. And so that's why when we were doing the podcast, I told Lee, and I said, you know what? We have moms in our Facebook group who have children with disabilities, all kind of disabilities, cognitive and physical, or a combination of both. I was like, we should interview Nina, and I asked her, is it okay to film her for our YouTube channel to kind of, you know, just show her disability, and we want you to talk about what it was like growing up. You've already touched on the surgeries. Mm-hmm. And when was your last surgery? How old were you?
Oh, wow. I have no idea. I remember it had to be before I was 10. Because I can remember being in like 4th grade. I remember all of the things I dealt with, like bullying and everything else. Mm-hmm. But I wasn't having surgeries back then. I was constantly going to see Dr. Mask. I will never ever forget my surgeon. Like, because when I was born, so this is the thing. When I was born, my mom said the nurses told her I would be no good. So basically, just throw away. I would be no good. But Dr. Mask, the surgeon, he believed that he could help me. Okay. And so he worked with my mom. You know, I had to use like the big pencils. They would buy these rubber things to put on the pencils and all different type of stuff, just to teach me how to write and different things. But I always was like, no, give me a regular. I want a regular pencil. I want a regular pen. I want a regular. No, I don't need that big thing. You know, that's uncomfortable. You know, I always go against what I was supposed to learn how to do.
You were trying to get your own limitations.
Yeah, I was like, no.
They were trying to limit you.
Mm-hmm. Right. And that's why I don't use the word disabled. Okay. Because when you define disabled and look it up in a dictionary, it's a limitation. Okay. You know, you're limiting yourself somewhere. So I always tell people, oh, no, I have a difference. I don't have a disability. I have a difference. And so that's like the first thing. Like, if you tell your child, you know, you're special, but explain to them how they're special, you know, in a good way, and don't make them feel like an outcast or make them feel like they're disabled, because when everything is mental, and so it's how you program yourself. I was a baby of 9. So
whoa, pause. You got 8 sisters and brothers?
Yes, it was 6 girls and 3 boys. Yep.
Shout out to Mama and Daddy Nina.
Yes. It's a blended family, but we all grew up together.
Blended, mixed, it doesn't matter.
How did all those children got into one household? Kudos to you all for raising all of them. Yes. Because I have 2, and I'm about ready to put both of them out.
That is so funny.
And the dog. He can go too, but okay.
The dog can go.
All of them. And the turtle and the cat, but I digress.
That is too funny. Look, I don't even remember what I was asking. But we're having fun.
Well, you were talking about, you know, not to call people with a disability disabled.
Right. I have a disability, but I'm not disabled. You're not disabled.
And that's important for moms of able-bodied children to understand, because that's something else. You know, my son was born, I talk about this all the time, he was 1 pound, 14 ounces.
Wow.
Yeah, so I was only 6 months pregnant, and because of high blood pressure, you know, he was born early. And so, by the grace of God, he didn't have any disabilities. He had medical complications until he was about 5. That was pretty, and I know Leanne's son has a lot of medical complications, but physically our children are fine. Right. So it's raising them in a world to be sensitive of people who are different, people with disabilities, seen and unseen.
And there's a lot more children being born with differences because the food.
Yes.
You know, we're eating more processed food, and the animals and the things are being, you know, pumped with different hormones. Yeah. And so you're buying food, you're cooking food, you're eating food, but you're not eating the right stuff. Or you're going to the grocery store, you know, and buy food, not realizing that you need to buy the best grade of food, you know. Yeah. And so unintentionally, you know, nowadays more children are being born with a disability. Now, my mom, she had cervical cancer when she was pregnant with me. Oh, wow. They didn't say that was the reason. Okay. I believe God just wanted me to be different. You know, He just wanted me to be special and stand out among the crowd. So I don't think. And that's another thing I noticed. I believe my mom blamed herself for so long. Okay. You know, and it's like, when I became an adult, I had to say, Mama, stop taking God's blessing. This is what God did for me.
This is my blessing.
Yeah, this is definitely my blessing, because of the purpose and things that He has for me in life. If I didn't have this difference, I don't think I would be where I am.
So when did the kind of like the switch flip for you? Or have you always been this, like, having this uber zest for life and always motivated? Because like we mentioned, my son is asthmatic, and he doesn't like the fact that because he has asthma, that's different from a lot of the other kids, and so he might need to take his medication during the day. And he's like, I don't want to take my medication because I have to take it in front of everybody, and then they look at me differently, and I don't want people to look at me differently. So how did you handle that kind of growing up?
Okay, so the world is cruel.
Yeah.
So I didn't know that I really had a difference like that until I started school. Okay. So when I was got ready to start first grade, which is amazing because now I'm connected to my first grade teacher. So funny. She found me, these hands, you ain't gonna forget them. But I was before I went to first grade, they told my parents that I needed to go to school for children with special needs.
Okay.
But my parents was like, nothing's wrong with her brain.
Right.
She
Mentally, you're fine.
To special needs school. So they had to go through almost a whole year of testing. And thank God my first grade teacher found me because she shed some light on some things for me in the sense that I remember standing outside of the classroom door. I didn't get into a regular public school until March. Okay. So, the school year is almost over. Yeah. And so the teacher was like, I need her to do first grade again because she missed all of fighting to be in school. I missed so much, and she wanted me to have a fair chance. Yeah. And so she said, let her go back to first grade and put her in my class. Okay. And so she even told me recently on Facebook, like, and you soared that next year, like you did it. So the thing was, when I got to school, it really wasn't until about second grade that I really started being bullied. Okay. And then when I'm on the bus, my mom and I would catch the bus a lot, Chicago Transit Authority. People would stare, they would run, they would hide, they would hold their kids. Okay. Like those type of things made me start to hide my arms. Mm-hmm. So I didn't I wouldn't wear, even in the summertime, I wouldn't wear like short sleeves. I would not do it. It was fourth grade. I was still being bullied and things like that in school. It was fifth grade, actually. I spent the summer at my aunt's house. Okay. And my aunt told me I couldn't go outside. She lived in Park Forest. Okay. And she still lives around now, my Aunt Sheila. And she told me that if I didn't, wear short sleeves, that I couldn't go outside and play. And I was still a kid. I wanted to go outside and play. Mm-hmm. So what did I do? I went to wear short sleeves. So I did it for a whole summer. When you consistently do something, you will just automatically do it. So when I went back to school, I was used to wearing short sleeves again. And so I started doing that. And so it wasn't until about fifth grade where I started appreciating who I was. Mm-hmm. And my sister don't remember it, but my oldest sister, Lenora, she told me when I was being bullied, I remember complaining to her one day. And she doesn't remember this, but of course, because it stuck with me, I remember it. Mm-hmm. She said, baby, everybody is different. Some people's difference is just more visible than others. Mm-hmm. And that changed my life. Because I went and I started looking at the people who was bullying me. Yeah. Oh, and the game changed. That's when the game changed. When I know, wait a minute. And I learned how to cross my eyes because one of the boys that used to bully me, his eyes was crossed. And I'm 4 finger, but you 4 eye, boo. So, yeah. I don't recommend that. However,
I do.
It changed the game.
Teach your child to defend themselves.
Yes.
Mortal Kombat style. But that's okay. Game on. No.
Right.
And it changed it like
she don't condone violence. You hit my baby, they better hit yours back. I'm just saying. Anywho. Real talk.
I'm sweating.
No. Keep your hands. We don't condone bullying. There's a difference.
There's a difference. We
condone self-defense. So.
That is true. Just make sure it comes across.
Right. Let me get that very clear. Because you send your kid toward mine.
They're going to be prepared.
I don't think anybody's going to touch your kid now.
They better
First of all, her kids are probably bigger than most of the other kids.
Yeah, my 12-year-old is 6 feet. The 1 pounder. The 1 pounder is 6. He's 6 feet tall.
Look now.
So they're not really going to be bothering
not at all.
First place, but okay. My kids are small. Please.
Yeah, her babies are small. My kids protect them.
I fight children.
Now she's talking about me. She fighting kids.
So, with words.
She say, I fight kids on Fridays.
When I know I could get out because it's payday.
Right. Everybody I know got paid can buy me
got the check.
Right.
So, hurry up and send me some money. I need some bail.
Now that's interesting because you said your aunt and your sister kind of like changed the narrative for you. Your aunt kind of forced you out of your comfort zone. And your sister gave you a perspective because you're right. Everybody has something different about them.
Yes.
Okay. So how was it high school? How were those high school years?
So
that's like we went to a private high school. Which I don't think made a difference.
No,
but
I think the game changes when you get to high school. Like everybody is because they're all going through their own
puberty.
issues and puberty and stuff like that. In order to not internalize the issues that you're going on, people project a lot. And so
bullies are born in high school.
No, I think they're born
in grammar school, but they graduate in high school.
Yes, and they graduate to some major dysfunction in high school.
Yes. I have a totally different story though.
Okay.
I was bullied horribly in elementary school, in grammar school, and by 5th grade, I started to, like I said, become my own. I became the one of the junior coaches for the Pee Wee cheerleading team, and I started being active and I loved cheerleading, but I didn't want to join the cheerleading team for personal reasons. But when I went to high school, first off, before I went to high school, I said that's a whole different beast because Morgan Park is a huge school, and so I went to MPHS. Sorry, have to wrap it. I was a cheerleader there, so hey.
We'll let you do that today because you're a guest. But we all know Providence St. Mel is probably the best, but that's okay. Go ahead.
You finna maybe bust out into a cheer.
Do not do that.
They're gonna cut me out. Like that episode would not show.
Cut to commercial.
It'll be like the commercial part where it's like, and we were experiencing technical difficulties, and now we're back.
So, but the summer before high school started, I asked my mom to homeschool me. We ain't know nothing about homeschool. Now I'm a homeschool teacher. How funny is that? Okay. But we knew nothing about homeschool, but I just did not want to face that. I felt like that was going to be a totally different beast, and I was afraid. Okay. Honestly, I was very fearful. The first day of school, I knew I had to suck it up, and I knew I had to go. First off, I think the most embarrassing thing is my mama, on top of me having a disability, my mama wanted to walk me to school. I live 2 blocks from the school. Why, mama, why? Don't do it to your children.
Because your mama was probably like, man, like, let me take this.
No, my mama.
We gonna walk.
No. My mama pray you through.
Okay. That's even better.
She gonna try to grab your hand and pray you through. I'm like, mama, but they hit me. Let's just pray about it. Bless her heart. So the first day of school, I already knew I was going to get a lot of stares and stuff. And so, of course, those type of things happen. A lot of people from my elementary school went there because, like I said, I lived 2 blocks away. Yeah, so, a lot of the people, we all just went there pretty much. A few people may not have, but most of us went there. But I knew that was going to be a totally different beast. But it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. So I was like, I decided to do things that I was told, girl, what you doing that for? Like, take ROTC. And so I took ROTC instead of gym because I wanted to challenge myself. Because if you don't have all your limbs, you can't go to the service, all that other stuff. Okay. Well, I'm going to show y'all I could be the best, just different things. Okay. And I did, make it to one of the top 5 ranks, highest ranks. So just showing, myself that I could do it. So actually, I didn't get bullied in high school. I tried out for the cheerleading team. And at that time, Morgan Park was the city champs. All the time. So I just knew I was not going to make it. I ain't going to lie, y'all. But what I did was I gave it my all. Okay. Like, these hands crooked and y'all the number 1 cheerleading team, but I'm going to show y'all I got as much enthusiasm.
You got spirit. Yes, you
do. So I literally gave it my all, and I think that is like, that made them say, yeah, we're going to get it. Plus, I was skinny mini. This was not, I was so skinny. Like, I just knew I was just going to be tossed in the air somewhere. As random heights as I was. But once I got there and I noticed it wasn't as bad, I just decided, let me join everything. And I did that. I joined the choirs. I joined, like I said, I was in ROTC. I was on the drill team. I was on the color guard team. I was on the flag team. Not the dancing flag team, but I was on the cheerleading team. Okay. I was in African ensemble. I was in African this and that. I was just doing everything. I think I did 12 different organizations in high school.
Did you graduate though?
I did. I did. And I had good grades.
You did all of that. Did you read it?
Don't try to judge her because your high school experience was the polar opposite of that.
Polar opposite.
Mine was too. But that's funny.
Right. It's about you.
I got good grades.
Bless your heart, because I'm tired. I need a nap listening to that.
Right. I'm sitting here thinking like I went to school
From the mom perspective, I'm thinking, Lord Jesus, you gotta run that child around every.
Well, no, you know, in high school it's different. In high school, it's so different. Mm-hmm. My daughter participates in like everything, and I just drop her off in the morning and pick her up in the evening. They shuttle you, bus you, take you places, and all that stuff.
And because I live right down the street from the school,
we can do this. We can do this then. All right, that's good. Because I got nervous, like, God damn, I want to get all of that. Okay. Continue. Carry on. Sorry.
Yeah, so I had fun.
I'm like,
come on, Nina, listen.
I know. No, I had fun in high school, and plus, I wanted to do something different. Like my sisters and brothers and stuff, they didn't do all the stuff I did. Like, I was my mama's different child. Like totally different. Not only with my hands, just my life. I was just different.
Okay.
I think I've always been an extrovert, so
the personality.
It just always it was easy.
Okay. And then you came to U of I.
Yes.
What'd you major in?
Human Development and Family Studies with a minor in African American Studies.
Oh, right now.
Okay. All right. Okay. I'm minoring in African American Studies too. We probably saw each other at graduation. Yeah. That's what I think. All of us just take a bunch of Afro. I didn't want to take a bunch of European civilization classes. Right. So I was just like, let me learn about my own people. So yeah, we'll get a minor in that instead.
I know, right?
But so when you were going to college, how was that process? Like, did you have to do something to prepare? Because that's a much bigger scale than high school. Do you feel like high school prepared you for that college campus? Because that campus is huge.
Humongous.
Yeah.
Because I was already, I don't know, I put it in my mind, I'm normal. Mm-hmm. I have something different, but I'm normal. So when I went out to college, I knew that was going to be a different beast. I was afraid because it was just different. I'm away from home, even though it's just 2 hours away. I came home every weekend. I was horrible. But
yes, she was, because I only came home to do laundry and to eat. But okay.
That's too funny. Like, I came home every weekend. I just needed to be home. I'm like,
baby was homesick.
Yeah, I know. And I had a car. That was my problem. So I drove home.
Yeah.
So because in high school, like, I started driver's ed right before I turned 15.
Let's talk about the driving, because when you said that, I was like, you were driving?
Yeah.
Let's talk about, not to cut off your
whole college
experience. Let's talk about the driving.
So I just noticed, like, not too many women in my family at that time had license and cars, and I'm like, what's wrong with y'all?
Yeah.
And so I was like, I just always had it in me. I'm going to drive. I didn't know if I was going to need something with special or anything. Yeah. And my dad was an advocate driver. Like, you need to know your directions. You need to know how to get where you're going. You don't know your north, south, east, west. What's wrong with you? So, and I'm a daddy's girl.
Like everybody's daddy. Okay.
Like, for real. I'm a daddy's girl. And I did not like my experiences on the bus.
Okay.
So it was like, I'm tired of being stared at. I'm tired of, no, I'm going to drive. And so when I took driver's ed, now I'm not going to tell no story. When them people put me in that seat, I was like, y'all not going to ask me no questions. Y'all just want me to drive. Okay. And I just did it. It came natural. I didn't know how nothing was going to be. It just came natural. Even when they had me drive on this
modify the car or no?
I have regular.
Because I saw a video
I'm just close.
Driving.
I'm just a little closer to the steering wheel.
Okay.
But short people are too. So that's all. I mean, it's all in your mentality.
My mama is. I got this morning and I was like, why, Gina, am I in?
Right.
In the
I can't even get in the car.
Right. Got to move the seat back. Anytime somebody get in something behind me and you finna drive, move the seat back first, ladies. Move the seat back.
Yeah. Okay. So you can drive, no modifications for the car. Okay.
And it's nothing wrong if you have to have modifications. Yeah. I was just blessed in that sense where I don't have to.
Don't need it. Okay.
It looks weird. It does. Like, seeing me turn the corner, I just tell people, don't have an accident. I'm not paying your insurance. And don't hit my car. Okay? If you want to see it, you can come get in the car with me. I'll charge you $5.99, and that's fine. We'll go around the block, and you can watch all you want to watch.
I think you should charge $10.
I think so, too.
Prices just went up.
I do 20.
I mean, that's just,
they gonna make me rich. Yes.
I'm just saying.
I know, right?
Like, I take Cash App, Zelle, or PayPal.
That's it.
Square.
That's it.
Look, Square, Slide, whatever you need. Whatever you need. I always tell entrepreneurs that you need to have every source. You don't want to give people no room to say no.
That's true. That's true.
Like,
we had that conversation recently about a restaurant, right? Where the restaurant, she just wrote, it wasn't me, I didn't do it, I swear. But it was a restaurant, and the Austin community that doesn't take credit cards. They only take cash.
Wow.
And so we were talking with someone else about the fact
that
I
didn't eat there because I only had my debit card.
Right. And we were like, well, if you're in the neighborhood, you know, you need to be able to take all forms of payment.
Right.
Because you just never know. Like, somebody might want to run in there and get lunch real quick and they don't have any cash on them. So why doesn't the restaurant take credit cards? And they're like, well, you got to support black businesses. We're not saying don't support black businesses. Right. We're not saying that we will never support this business. We're saying it's inconvenient to support this business because they're not catering to their customers. Right. So we totally agree.
I mean, it's so free to get Square. Like, it's many free
options for payment. Right. Now, tell us a little bit about. So you go to U of I. The experiences there.
I mean, it was like RA my second year.
Yes. Okay. Resident advisor, those people who listen to see if you got blenders going for margaritas on your flow.
Follow the rules.
I was a cool RA. Like, some of my residents, they still call me RA. Like, you were the best RA ever.
Nice.
I did deal with some racism there. Yeah. I had paint thrown on me.
Say who? What now?
Yes. What year was that?
Paint, like
sophomore year.
A bucket? Like,
yes.
Where was you at?
Walking towards. What was the Taft?
Yeah.
I think I was walking
Students
towards
or like community.
We don't know.
Their police is.
We don't know.
Hopefully that changed.
They was in a white van. Now, of course, it's us and there's all other colored people or uncolored, and they just decided to ride past everybody, and it was me. And I forgot who was with me, and just tossed it on us. I was furious, like all of the other stuff, and that's why I ended up not being an RA because of racist stuff and things like that. All of that, okay, but throwing paint on me, baby, let me.
You lucky you in a.
And you call the police, and the police don't come.
Yeah, and they don't do anything about it. So typical college experience.
Yep, I don't think I had any. Outside of I didn't have anything weird dealing with my hands or anything like that. Now, what most people do not know is I did have a learning disability as well.
Okay.
And it only showed up when I took tests. I went, you know how we would do the study groups and all of that stuff. I would straight up teach everybody everything that we finna be tested on. But you put that test in front of me and I blanked.
You blanked.
So I would have to take my test by myself.
Is it test anxiety that you have?
I forgot the name. No, you know, they had some scientific name.
It was a scientific name.
I asked because my daughter has, it's never been like confirmed, but similar type thing. Like she goes to school, she's straight A student and everything. You put like a standardized test in front of her, and then everything just goes flu.
See, my son has the opposite. He's been diagnosed with permanent lazy.
Oh, okay.
So
was that a doctor's diagnosis or was that a at-home parent diagnosis?
That was an at-home parent diagnosis. But it was in the mom handbook on page 438, Appendix B.
I gotta go get that book.
You wasn't issued that in the hospital when you gave birth? They forgot to give you your copy?
I'm just,
I can let you borrow mine.
I'm just rolling with this whole thing. It's
kind of like, it was in my handbook.
I'm just winging it.
It was in my handbook.
I'm just winging it. So
my mama handbook, and my son was diagnosed with lazy. That was his diagnosis. Because when it comes to test taking, he's phenomenal with tests. Okay. His grades do not reflect his test taking and his knowledge, his capacity.
So. And see, he needs to start taking advantage of that because there are some people.
Well, he's already learning because he's in 7th grade. And this is the high school application year, and so he's hearing from these schools, and now it's finally starting to hit him. So I'm like, good. Okay. That's also in the parent handbook.
Is it?
It is. That's a strategy. Let life hit him. That whole chapter.
Let life hit him.
No, whole chapter called "Let Life Hit Him."
Through the Winging It University.
Okay,
we have done that.
I know a lot of people with certificates in that.
Yeah, well, Winging
It University. Now, with my second one, she didn't come with a handbook, so I had that whole.
Winging It University.
I'm in Winging It University.
The whole thing of like, this life you have here, I'm just here to guide you. It's your responsibility. Okay. So if you,
I haven't taken that course yet. That's the upper level.
If you don't take the responsibility for this. Then so my thing is like we wake you up in the morning, like if you don't get dressed, you gotta walk to school.
Okay.
See, so these are the tools for when you have kids.
The train leaves at 6:30. So if you're not on it,
that's it. That's it.
I don't know how you gonna get
that. So when you tell us about like work, now first of all, let's backtrack because we have a lot of the parents with kids with disabilities. Did you have a scholarship to go to U of I?
So initially I didn't. I didn't have a scholarship, but when I got there, I decided to talk to people. And so I figured out that there are funds for children with disability. Oh, I love being a disabled person. Why? Because I use it to my advantage. Every money that's available for me. Give it to me. And so I was able to get more grants and things like that because I have a difference. And so if you have a difference, that is an advantage that you have. Actually, right before I graduated from high school, I talked to my counselor and I said, hey, is there funds for, people with disability? Talk to the counselors. And he is the one that, Mr. Gardner, he is the one that helped me to get in contact with the program at U of I, which is horrible because I don't remember the name of the program. But it was a program that I was able to get funding through and things like that.
Okay. And you graduated?
Yes.
Okay. And so
4 years only.
Career, because you're a serial entrepreneur.
Yes.
But have you ever done the 9 to 5?
I have. So funny thing, very funny thing. When I was 16, so before I turned 16 for like 2 years, I would go to Fair Play over on 111th. I would go there and show them, hey, let me get, when I turn 16, I want a job. So I would be bagging stuff to show them. Because I wanted them to see, not to limit me because of that.
Right.
And so, my 16th birthday, I went and applied for a job. Well, one of the lovely workers there, she let me know. She said, y'all can sue them because they won't hire her because of her hands. And of course we didn't or anything like that, but I have definitely dealt with discrimination because of my difference. I have definitely been denied jobs. Now the funny part is, as an adult, I have gotten jobs because they get more grants because I'm in the social service field. They get more money because I have a disability. So I remember one of the last jobs I worked, I won't name the place, but they were planning on letting me go at a certain time after they got funding. And so I let myself go before that could happen, though. Okay. Bye-bye, boo-boo. But I have worked the regular 9 to 5. I have worked at like video stores, so I worked cash registers, like in the summer times and things like that. And while I was in college, I would come home, get a job, and things like that. And then when I graduated, I came back home. My first job with my degree was being a preschool and Head Start teacher. So that was interesting because you're working with the little babies and your
they
hands
have
look
no
weird.
Filter and they're so inquisitive.
Why wrong with your hands? They don't care. Fine now, I guess. But that was my first job. I've done foster care. I've done Service Connector, which was when the CHA residents was relocated to different places. I worked with them. I worked as a mental health case manager. I did that for a couple of years. And I worked with severely mentally ill patients. I was like, I don't know if you were ready for that. But we did it. And then I worked with people. I worked a job with people who were infected or affected with the HIV virus. That was one of my most emotional jobs. And of course, I was a cheerleading coach. When I came home, I started back coaching at my old elementary school. So I went and gave back and things like that. And then I worked at Morgan Park's Youth Center. I did that as well.
You love kids. I hear a theme.
I do. They're
like service, like giving back. So I'm kind of like curious as to like what motivates you to give back. Was it something in your upbringing, or was it just like, I have this awesome personality and everybody needs to see it?
I believe I was created to show people that even if you have a difference, it's to make a difference. And I've always been a people person. I've always been a kid person. I've always been a youth person. Most people don't like teenagers. I absolutely love teenagers. My favorite age group. She happily, I don't like them. And you over here smiling like,
I'm just smiling, nod.
Right. I do. I love teenagers because they're difficult. And I think it's just always been in me. My mom, she does a lot of work with seniors. That's not my age group. So I think I kind of got that from her.
I'm a senior whisperer. I love old people, especially the disgruntled mean ones. Right. It's like they love me.
I know, and that's how they are with my mom. Like she loves them, and my dad is the same way. Like they both always giving and doing. So I think I got it naturally from them, and then it just, I just always try to tap into God. What we gonna do today? What you have for me? What you have for the people? And I think it's important to show people that I have a difference, but I don't allow that to stop me. And if I can do it, you can do it.
You have no excuses.
And I use that with my nephew. Like, he was like 8, and I was explaining to him about my hands. So he had never seen me drive at that time. Mm-hmm. So when he first saw me drive, he was like, "You can do it. That means I could do it too." So that always sticks with me. And so I'm like, man, if it made a difference in him, it can make a difference in so many other children.
Okay. Now, you're not married.
Not yet.
No. And well, first let's finish talking about your entrepreneurial spirit, because I want to talk about that. You have several books. We've held up a couple of them. We'll put the in the link tomorrow in the description. In the description of the podcast. But when did you write your first book?
I wrote my first book in 2013. Well, it got released in 2013. I started writing it.
For the people on the podcast,
it's called Because I Love Me. So my entrepreneurship started in 2005.
Okay.
I started with a nonprofit organization called Touch, which stands for Touching Others Using Christ's Help. Mm-hmm. And that organization, I saw a lot of nonprofits, and I wanted to have one to build up the family, to bridge the gap between families. I didn't see enough family involvement, family fun trips and stuff like that. Okay. So I create events and programs and stuff for families to come together and have fun. Nice. And then I used to do teen talks for teens to come out and talk as well. Okay. Right now, Touch is on the shelf. Not dead, but it's on the shelf. Mm-hmm. Because I do so many other things, and I by me being a youth pastor now, I use that avenue to still do a lot of the stuff that I did with my nonprofit. But I started writing my book, so I deal with life like everybody else did. Made some bad relationship choices, decisions, and all of that other bad stuff. And I waited good and well until I was in my 20s to start dating all the wrong people. And so Because I Love Me came out of learning that I really didn't love myself the way I thought I did. Okay. So what I realized about myself is, I accepted my hands for who they were, but because in high school I didn't date a lot of people because I was too busy proving to people that I'm a normal person, that when I stopped doing that and realized, okay, everybody know I'm normal now, like whatever.
Now what?
Right. And so I started dating, though, and my first relationship wasn't like a bad relationship. That was actually the best relationship ever. I was like 18 though. I'm 18, 19 dude. I'm in college now. Like, go sit somewhere. Yeah. But he was a really good guy. But after that, I was like, God, are you punishing me for breaking up with him or something? Because I accepted it. I went to it was down.
God ain't do that. That was your bad choice.
I know. Right?
He was looking at you like, nah,
I gave you a nice guy in the beginning. And
that was all you.
But
God was up there like, no, boo boo.
I know. And I
said
that.
Went right, you went left.
I did. But I learned a lot of lessons. That's why I got so many books. Because I want to help these girls.
Hey, that's what we need to do.
Listen, like for real. Jesus. And I do it because I know it's somebody else's story. So Because I Love Me, I've had, when I first released the book in 2013, it was a lady, she was 77 years old. She asked, can she have lunch with me? And at that lunch, she just like really broke down and she was like, you told my story. Mm-hmm. Because the book talks about living with a difference and how I was bullied and how I had to learn to accept myself for who I was. But then it also talks about all the relationship woes that I went through, allow myself to go through, and how I had to come out of all of that, which I didn't until my anniversary coming up. No, the anniversary passed. September 14th was the day that I was like, 2010, where I left the last bad relationship. And November 21st was the day that of 2010 where I said, okay, God, I'm going to do it your way, not my way no more. So I had to go through a journey of learning to love myself, learning what love is. Because a lot of people, love is a word and no, love is action. Mm-hmm. And so I had to learn to love God, love myself, and then I can love others properly. Because before then I had to realize, you really wasn't. And so that's kind of where the books came from. I was in an organization called SPA, Speakers, Publishers, and Authors Association. They helped me produce that first book, and they helped me, get more out there as a speaker and things like that. I was their Speaker of the Year for 2013. Okay. There's my trophy. Look at me, I keep the trophies around. And so that's kind of when I wrote the first book, and after that I have just been writing.
How many books total? Because you say you have a publishing company as well.
Anointed Hands Publishing Company. Give you a sense of relief. You don't have to stress over it. And so I have 8 books of my own out now with an ebook coming out next month. That's going to be a free ebook downloadable from my website for parents, especially
and what's
parents
your website?
with NinaMotivates.info.
Okay.
And that book will be free, and it's called Raising Unique, and it's going to just talk about having a difference. And
you doing a book release?
I'm not.
Yep, you are.
Okay, I am. Mm-hmm. Virtually? Can I do it virtually?
Sure. It's you want to.
I'm like, it's an ebook.
I prefer you do an actual book release, but okay. We'll work with you.
So many of them.
That's okay.
We'll talk.
Yeah,
wait, do you say that?
Yeah, we'll talk.
I'm usually, look, I feel like I'm talking to a bunch of me's right now.
We'll talk.
Hey,
I love it.
We have gold bullies in our
We have gold bullies, and I think we're turning into gold bullies. That's what you're going to do.
I'm definitely a gold bully.
Free ebook or not, because doing this group for moms, what we're learning, and the reason I started the group, and then I brought Pully in, and we've just turned this into a whole movement, and we're trying to expand, is because moms need resources. Like, we wish our kids came with handbooks. They don't. Yeah. So we rely on other moms to share experiences, and we pull from different things to kind of learn how to shape our children's journey. Mm-hmm. And that's very important because, again, there are moms with kids with differences. Mm-hmm. You know, like, now that you've said that, it's like, I can go home and teach my kids, hey, you know, you don't have friends with disability. Your friends may have a disability, but your friends have differences. And it's a way to phrase that, because it's a difference in mindset.
They're not disabled. They just have a difference.
Have
a disability,
and it doesn't define them.
Exactly.
And so, even if it's a free ebook, there's women out there, moms and families that need this information.
Not just information that you're given, but also people need to. I'm learning that you need to see a model. You need to see somebody's out there doing something that you want to do. So we have moms that probably want to write books, that want to release books,
free publishing company,
publish and everything, and they need to see someone like you that's out there doing all of these things, doing them so well, that can give them the motivation to say, okay, let me get up, let me just work on myself so that I can get out here and do these same things as well.
Because I think,
all right, y'all talk, you can twist their arm.
We good at talking people.
Oh, we all the time. We're very good at talking everybody into everything. But you know, sorry, it's our superpower.
I love it.
But I do have to, like, your personality, like, is the bomb. You're effervescent, but you're also proof that it all starts inward. It starts with self. Yeah. Because working with people who are disabled, who have disabilities rather, and they're disabled because their mindset is disabled.
Yes.
So, and
I'm sure people that are
mentally disabled.
You have to work on your mind every single day. I do not get out of the bed without, of course, thanking God for another day, but also speaking life and serving the devil notice. Oh, this feet finna hit the ground. Girl. You might want to go run, sucker. Here I come again. So you gotta pump yourself up even before you get out the bed. Why? Because life is still happening. Life is going to happen. You're going to have challenges. You're going to have situations that come up. Yes, situations is what I call them. Not situations, situations. Because you be like,
because they worse than situations.
Right.
Yeah. Like, you can dig out of a situation. But situation feel like it's drowning you, baby.
And you got to look at the weather. Like, it rains, but eventually the ground's going to dry. The sun's going to come out. You're going to see a rainbow. And it's going to happen. So you have to find good in everything. And so find out, you're going to learn a lesson. So any situations you in, you're going to learn a lesson. You're going, but you got to persevere. You got to move on. You got to go forward. If you had a challenging day, I don't say bad days, because as long as you're breathing and you're above water, you're above the ground, shall I say, you're good. Like, you're alive. You can fix whatever, things can change. So it's everything that we deal with starts in our mind. And so that's why one of the books I don't have
we
here
about
right
to
now
pass the collection plate through the YouTube channels, because that's a word right there. That is a word. And I think so many people take it for granted. Because a lot of people are preaching that nowadays. Oh, mindset and motivation. No, but it really does. That's because there's some truth to it. It starts inside.
Yeah. And I think a lot of people take their abilities for granted as well. And so you have really motivated me to be like, okay, stop using anything as an excuse not to just go out here.
Excuses are for dead people.
And kill it every single day.
Well, damn. Yeah, they do.
They are. Excuses are for dead people. They can't do stuff. They're dead.
I learned from church that dead people are not just the ones that are in the ground. It's a lot of people that are
walking
up here.
Walking Dead. Walking Dead. Like, if you are not living, if you are just existing, you are part of the Walking Dead.
Yes, we talk about going from existing to thriving. So if you're not thriving, if you're not just like, I know we talk about all the time, we both suffer from anxiety and depression. So
no, you don't.
Well, we have been clinically diagnosed, but we don't suffer from it. So we motivate ourselves to get out of bed each and every day. And so that takes a lot of strength to pick yourself up and everything. But I understand that for people who are also having other things in their life that are challenges for them. But the thing is, you have to do it, because the fact that you were able to wake up each and every day means you have a purpose. You have something to go out there and do, and just do it. And then right now I'm like, I'm just going to do everything until something sticks. I'm just throwing the spaghetti against the wall until something sticks. But that keeps me going.
And you got to find that thing. Like, I now have certain songs that I have to listen to in the morning. And one of those songs is Mary J. Blige, Just Fine. Like, I have my gospel songs and all of that. But I love, like, that's the season I'm in. So you find the season that you're in. I believe in affirmations being posted everywhere. I have prayer boards, literally. You know, people have prayer closets. I have prayer boards. If I need to travel with it, it's going to go with me. You know, things like that. Typically. And I have a whiteboard in my bedroom on the wall where I can write a positive message to myself. And when I wake up and before I leave out of my room, I see that whiteboard and I see that message.
Doing that for the kids. Yes. Thank you. We gonna put that in the appendix of the Mama Handbook.
Do it.
Masterclass at Wing It University.
Wing It.
Well, I know we got it. Wing It.
Wing It University, the book for moms.
We're gonna trademark that before and copyright that before y'all.
I'm gonna do it over the weekend before I publish this. But we do need to wrap up. But it was a pleasure. This is my first time meeting you. It was an absolute pleasure.
First but not the last.
Definitely not, because she makes butter cookies. I'm coming back for the cookies.
Leanne on the diet though, so she can't have it.
This is why I work out 5 days a week so I can eat cookies.
I don't work out because I want to eat cookies.
I need to work out. She works out. She don't work out. I need to work out. We gotta work this out.
We'll figure it out.
Work it all out. But thank you so much for coming, and well, we came to you, but thank you so much for doing
it.
For letting us come to your house and invade your house and eat your cookies and record our podcast here. Is there any parting words, anything that you wanted to say today that you haven't had to say that you want to say in the next few minutes?
To all parents, remember, your children are your children, no matter what their difference is, whether they have a difference or not, whether it's visible or not. Treat them like they are, which are human beings. Treat them like that they could, show them that they could do anything they want to do, be anything they want to be. And if you put that in them, they will grow to be that. My mom and my dad never limit me. I had chores, I got whoopings, all that stuff. And that let me know, you regular baby, go make your bed up, And so if you give them a normal life, they will have a normal life. And everything you instill in them and put in them, they will soar. My dad said to me, I want you, when I went off to college, it was a time at U of I was like, I'm gonna go home. I quit. My grandmother passed away. One of my best friends was killed in a homicide. It was so many different things going on. I was like, I quit. And my dad was like, no, I know you can do it. That you can, spirit, is why I walk around and say, you can. My favorite quote is a quote that God gave me. The only limits you have is the limits you put upon yourself. So if you don't put limits on your kids, they will grow up living a limitless life. So.
Awesome. This is so great. Thank you so much.
Yeah, Thank you all. I appreciate it. I come up with the best ideas.
Sometimes.
You do.
This was a great idea.
This was a great idea.
I don't know.
I'm gonna claim this one.
But anyway, thank you.
We got a guest in. We have
Lauren.
a guest in studio.
You all got to see her live. Make sure you check out our Facebook page. Our Instagram page is Mama Needs Love Too, same name as our YouTube channel, and our Facebook support group for moms as well. Thank you so much for being with us today. Thank you all for listening and for watching us for our second YouTube video. Thank you.
Yeah, video number 2.
Yes. This hands clap too.
All right. So we got you on number 2. We got to bring you back for number 200.
Hey. All the 2s. 20.
Right. So that's going to be our number. So, all right. Thank y'all for listening. Watching. Thank y'all for tuning in. Peace.
All right. Bye.
Can you see how easy that was?
All right.
And I'm going to save this. What is this?